So it goes without saying that whenever there's a UFO sighting, there's usually an attempt to explain it. Most of the time, it's just something to do with the military or misidentifying a plane or a satellite. But every now and again, people don't have an answer, and that strange light seen in the sky is a genuine unknown flying object. Occasionally, however, there are other explanations. Explanations that are just plain stupid, even for a relative skeptic like me. Some just beg a belief and make you wonder if the powers that be really do think we're that stupid. Here are a few of the dumbest explanations of UFOs. In December 2017, information on an encounter with a UFO in 2004 was released to the public via the Freedom of Information Act. The encounter detailed an interaction with an unknown object hovering over the Pacific Ocean, approximately 100 miles off the coast of San Diego. There to witness this was a military warship, the USS Nimitz, carrying out a combat training exercise. The object was described as the shape of a tic-tac and was seen exhibiting impossible aerial maneuvers and other strange behaviour near the water. Now, despite the object being tracked for a couple of weeks, seen by multiple military personnel, clocked on radar, seen by another aircraft, and being captured on film, skeptics have claimed that this was nothing more than an equipment malfunction and human error. Take a look at the FLIR, aka infrared camera footage. Now at first, you can probably see where skeptics get the idea of equipment malfunction from. The object is in dead centre of the screen and doesn't seem to move. However, if you watch the complete footage, the object clearly moves on its own accord and out of sight, thus debunking this as a glitch on the screen. Now the skeptics' answer for this piece of footage clearly didn't work this time around, and as a couple of weeks ago, on the 17th of September, the US Navy officially recognised the object as a UFO. Well, well, well. Now here we have what is widely known as Britain's Roswell Incident, as it is one of the most famous and biggest UFO events to have ever happened here. Now, despite it being widely regarded as anything but aliens these days, it still has some rather questionable explanations. It took place in December 1980 and occurred in the region of Suffolk as titled Rendlesham Forest. Now nearby was RAF Woodbridge, a Royal Air Force station built for use in World War II, but at the time it was being occupied by the USA for the Cold War. Now the story goes that a security patrol spotted what they described as a downed aircraft crash into Rendlesham Forest. A team from Woodbridge led by Commander Charles Holt was dispatched immediately to investigate. Upon entering the forest, they supposedly found a glowing metal object, which began to move as they approached it, before disappearing out of sight. The object left behind 3 indentations in the ground and made nearby farm animals go crazy. The team returned to the site a couple of days later to record radiation levels and found the radiation to be slightly above background level. They also spotted a strange blinking light as well as 3 other bright lights in the sky which occasionally beamed down a streak of light. The incident was documented through Commander Charles Holt's microphone.
There wasn't a pigmentation.
You just saw a light where? Where?
Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the there it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flash right there. So there it is.
Hey, I see it too. What is it?
We don't know, sir.
So can I get some? Yeah, it's a strange, small red light. Looks to be out maybe a quarter to half mile, maybe further out. I'm going to switch off. The light is gone now. It was approximately 120 degrees from the site. Is it back again?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's the flashlight set. There is no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead.
And it's yellow.
I saw a yellow tinge in it too. Weird. It appears to be maybe moving a little bit this way. It's brighter than it has been. this way. Pieces of it are shooting off. There is no doubt about it. This is weird. To the left. Yeah, definitely. Two lights. One light to the front, okay. One light to the left. Keep the flashlights off. There's something very, very strange.
Now, the widely accepted answer to this case is a lighthouse. Yes, a lighthouse. Now, it's not as stupid as it sounds. Charles Hull was reporting the flashing lights every 5 seconds, or thereabouts, which is roughly the same iteration time for a lighthouse. That doesn't explain the object in the forest, however, or the other lights which are seen beaming down strange columns of light. Well, shortly after the object disappeared, police arrived to investigate, and they described the indentations in the ground as the work of animal wildlife, and astronomers have claimed the lights seen were just bright stars. Well, last time I checked, stars don't beam down streaks of light and rabbits don't dig neat holes in triangular formations. I suspect it's very likely that these military men may well have seen a genuine UFO, but then in a state of fear and confusion began to suspect any and every other light source as being a UFO, which I think is totally understandable in that situation. Kind of similar to when you hear a strange noise in your house when you're home alone. Suddenly every noise that you might hear on a regular basis suddenly becomes suspicious. In October 1966, a police officer by the name of Dale Spower and his partner Wilbur Neff were minding their own business when a huge UFO began hovering over their vehicle. Spower described the object as a bright saucer-shaped disc, no more than 150 feet above and about 40 feet in size. As the object hovered away, they gave chase. The object began to move at incredible speed, and so did they to try and match it. They chased the object for an incredible 86 miles before stopping with another police patrol who watched it ascend into the sky and vanish from sight. Despite 3 reliable police officers witnessing it, as well as members of the general public, not to mention an official investigation from Project Blue Book, the object was ultimately regarded as a combination of a satellite and the planet Venus. This has to be one of the dumbest explanations of a UFO I've ever heard, and this was only a couple of weeks after we were introduced to swamp gas. So evidently, 1966 must have been the year of terrible UFO explanations. So how is it that 2 guys whose job it is to be particularly observant and skilled at identification made such a mistake? Well, it beats me, but I honestly don't know how you could pass this sighting off as nothing more than a planet. How is it that a planet moves exactly? Remember all those times a planet was mistaken for a moving object? I sure don't. In fact, this is the only time I've ever heard a planet be mistaken for a UFO. I mean, sure, planets and stars move in our sky because of the Earth's rotation, but over a very long period of time. Now, supposedly when the object was moving, it was a satellite, but any other time, it was Venus. Now, I've seen a satellite before, and I can tell you, and I wouldn't have thought it to be as close as 150 feet above me. So yeah, regardless of what they saw, it certainly wasn't a planet or a satellite. So there we go, there's a few of the dumbest UFO explanations ever. I might just make this a regular feature because just about every UFO sighting in history has had a ridiculous explanation behind it, and it's pretty funny seeing the lengths people will go to dismiss the idea of UFOs. Anyway, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button or check out some of my other videos.